All right, welcome back. DFW Blueprint. Blue is the theme of the day today. So I'm back with Shelby, and we're going to talk about something that is very, very, everyone has an opinion about it, and it's super, super emotional and stressful. So we might cry, we might laugh, it depends. But, it comes down to the key word there, stress. It can be good or bad, right, when you're buying or selling a home, but it's stressful sometimes because it can be emotional. That's where you and I come in, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that I've had sellers and buyers they get a little overwhelmed. And I mean, as a realtor, you try as hard as you can to not make it stressful. You want to make a smooth, easy transaction.
Yeah.
But there's just so many different variables that can happen and can kind of get a little bit chaotic. And you try your best to make it, not go crazy or do anything that might kill the deal or anything like that. So I think as realtors, we do a lot behind the scenes that our clients don't really see. So that way we can keep the deal together and make sure that it actually gets to the closing table.
Like cry in our car.
Yes.
A lot of crying. Me too.
Yes.
I mean, but no, we try like you said, we try our best, and I try not to make it seem like I'm dismissing something, but even we sometimes get stressed or emotional about certain things. And so that's where, a good agent can basically absorb the chaos, right? I like the term like act like a duck, where underwater its feet's going crazy and then up top it's just smooth and steady. And that's what a good real estate agent can show you is they've got 17 different things. I mean, in one deal, you're probably talking to 5 to 8 different people, right? That includes your buyer or seller, title, lender, inspector, talk to the appraiser, but there could be other factors involved as well. You got a seller right now where there's an ex-wife situation, and so I kind of have to do my best to stay balanced, even though that's also an emotional stressor for them personally. And it could, we don't know what'll happen to it. We'll find out tomorrow, but they're gonna meet, at the closing table, and we'll see what happens. But emotions in real estate can be controlled. And, I would say, as an agent, I don't dismiss things, but I try to just explain things, kind of a little bit more logical, because both sellers and buyers can be stressful.
Yes.
Because it's emotional too.
Yeah. I really do think that we are kind of like the buffer with either being a buyer's agent or the listing agent. Because the way sometimes sellers can talk because of an offer that came in or, the repair request that the buyer's asking for, the things that I've heard sellers say, and if they said that to the buyer, the feelings would get hurt, emotions would be everywhere, and I really don't think that deals would close as much as they do because as realtors, we go to the other agent and conduct ourselves professionally. And so if our sellers or buyers are saying something super unprofessional, we kind of go to them and say, well, actually, this is my thoughts and this is how they feel in a professional manner. And then the other agent does the same with her clients and conducting the conversation.
That's the goal. Like if you were the selling agent, I was the buyer agent, I would hope that I'm like, this is a great offer. Here's why. Here's I make your life easy. Here's comps. Here's why we came in at like this. Or even the inspector, hey, no big deal, but how's your day going? Everything okay? You have a good conversation with them, because then you can turn around to your client and say, hey, look, they only pointed out 1 or 2 things, but if I'm coming to you unprofessionally as an agent, you're going to turn around to your client and be like, this guy is just, I don't know what to do with this guy. No. Jeremy's a big a-hole.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to having a good agent to work with on the opposite side too. I think it helps so much, because I have had situations to where, we have to offer whatever our clients tell us to offer as a buyer's agent. I can advise them and tell them, what I think from my professional guidance and from my experience, what I think is a good offer. But at the end of the day, we have to offer what our clients, tell us this is what I want to offer. And I've actually had an agent to what we did offer say such unprofessional things of, this is a joke.
Like it's their deal.
Yeah. And they were just like, this is embarrassing. Why would you submit this? And blah,
Hmm.
blah, blah. And I'm just like, hey, so there's actually ChatGPT for the way you just conducted this conversation. It will
Absolutely.
make it sound so much better
Yeah.
than what you just told me.
There's that meme that's out there. Look, you can look at my text messages. Don't look at my chat GDP because there's just so much vulnerability that chat has like learned about all of us.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not wrong. I had this agent. The bully syndrome is never ever gonna work, and I was guilty of it when I first got out of the Marine Corps. Thought I was like it was just the way I was speaking to folks, and you can get more honey, you know, being
Mhm.
sweet to somebody and nice to somebody and actually working with somebody. Working with an agent, I don't look at it as you versus me. I look at it as you and me trying to get to the finish line. We
Mhm.
both have clients that want something. I got a client that wants to sell something. You got a client that wants to buy something. How do we fill the gap? How do we get there?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of consumers too should understand that how does your agent work? And in an interview process, when you're interviewing your agent or talking to your agent, ask them, you know, how do you handle adversity? How are you going to handle when we disagree with you or we don't take your advice? Because not every client will take your advice. I mean, I have a client that will just has completely gone against everything that I've said, and their home still hasn't sold, and
Mhm.
still gonna support them, still gonna love them,
Mhm.
but
No, it is
the
nice.
dad in me is disappointed.
Yeah, the dad in me. No, but it is nice whenever you advise your clients to do something and they listen to you.
Right,
Because 9 out of 10 times, we're not just telling you things because just laughs and giggles.
right,
We're telling you things because we've experienced it, we've seen it, and this is what worked and
right.
this is what didn't work. And so we're telling you to do this because majority of the time this has worked.
Yeah, that's where experience comes into play. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot. I think people like to watch TV and think that's what it is. It's far from what TV puts it. I mean, there's so many things that happen behind the scenes that your agent or your realtor or what I like to call myself a real estate advisor is the reason why I'm telling you this. I don't benefit from you not benefiting. I
Exactly.
want you to benefit as much as you possibly can because that in turn I get you as a lifetime client, I would hope.
Mhm.
I don't want to run you through the ringer and then at the end of the day say Jeremy was the worst agent ever and I never want to work with him again. I don't want that. I'm sure you don't want that. And so, but there's some agents that are out there that are just trying to push people through and get.
Mhm.
And so, um,
And two, I think there's so many real estate agents out there, but it is still a small community because you could possibly work with that person again or see them, on another listing or, vice versa. They're bringing, a buyer and you could have to work with them again. So if you kind of burn that bridge and really upset that realtor,
they're gonna remember you.
are they
Ooh.
definitely
Oh
gonna
yeah,
remember you,
they're
and
gonna
are
remember.
they gonna want to work with you
Yeah,
again?
there's those consumers too that are, I've had to terminate some relationships because they're just unrealistic in their expectations, and so um, I still have those, the old school Rolodex. Oh, I wrote down those addresses. I'm checking. Did it sell yet? Did it sell?
You have that
I
still?
Oh yeah, for sure. Not the Rolodex. No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's in my phone. I'm just saying I would like put note. There's addresses in my phone that I do keep an eye on.
Mhm. Okay, I'm
Maybe
glad
no,
that we've
there's no Rolodex. No,
upgraded.
we also don't fax anymore either. So, um, but again, there's stresses and emotions that go in. I thought we had a great relationship. I mean, because we did a transaction together, and then I don't know what it was about this particular home, but there's emotions behind it where sometimes you kind of have to walk away from the business so that way you can keep your emotional peace.
Mhm.
And the client that I had on earlier, he was talking about how he didn't pick his first home because of the inspection. There was just too much. And even though he's a very, very logical, data-driven human being, there were still some emotions behind it. Am I
Mhm.
making the right decision? Am I making the
Yeah.
wrong decision? Like, I want you to sell my house. What if it doesn't sell? What if I do this? What if I do this?
Mhm.
And so there's that skill that a lot of agents should develop and continue to develop where you're trying to navigate, it's coming, but because you've seen it 1,000 times, you know how to navigate. But if you haven't seen it, you got to learn because it could
Mhm.
bite you in the butt and you say the wrong thing and it's over.
Yeah, I think a big part of real estate too is learning how to communicate. And learning how to communicate professionally is really, really important, I think. And just communicating. I know a lot of agents that like you call them straight to voicemail. And
Voicemail is full.
yes,
How's your voicemail full?
yes, I understand that, but like at least reply to my text
There's
messages.
texting, there's
Yeah.
calls, yeah, there's emails.
Email.
Right. I I don't know. I hate the Google thing, the Google screening. I get why people are doing it because there's just a lot of spam out there.
Mhm.
But agents, it's your job to pick up the phone or at least communicate. Like you said, there's texting, there's
Yes.
calling, there's emailing, and it's not hard for someone to look me up and find my number or email and say, hey, man, who is that number? Oh, let me like. I will text and say, hey, this is Jeremy,
Mhm.
whatever. I just show this property, or can I show this property? And
Yeah. No, I
stuff.
actually had an agent actually one time. She tried to look up my number on the MLS
Mm-hmm.
and she typed it in wrong.
Mm.
And because my number is different than what the Dallas Fort Worth area
Yeah.
has, and it's one number off.
Mm-hmm.
And so she thought it was an area code for Dallas Fort Worth, but my area code phone number is a different state.
Yeah.
So she
yeah.
was one number off.
Right.
And then ended up calling our brokerage and saying, I can't get a hold of Shelby. Like, she's not responding
Not
to
responding,
me.
being a professional.
And, yeah, being
Yeah.
so unprofessional. And then I called her and I said, hi, I'm so sorry. I haven't received any texts or calls from you, blah, blah, blah. And she said, you gave me the wrong number. I said,
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's agent to agent emotions, right? She's trying to get a hold of you, and she's just
Yeah.
stressing herself out, right?
but I thought it
And-
was funny.
Of course, you can. At this point in life, you can't take life so seriously. It was an honest mistake, and you move
Yeah.
on, right?
And I find it too,
But-
it's so much easier to work with agents of not being, because I could have been like, well, no, you,
Right.
and pointing fingers. And
Yeah.
I've found it so much easier to work with other agents when you're just nice to them or just
Yeah.
laugh something off and work together. Like you said earlier, working together with the other agent is just so crucial to make
Mhm.
the deal happen. Because if you're just butting heads the whole time,
Yeah,
then it's going to reflect to the clients too, because they're going to, sense it from the agent, rejecting everything they do or giving you a hard time. And you have to go to your clients and say, well, it's been difficult.
right, right, and well, yeah, and I've done both. Not vented, but they will ask, how's the communication with the agent? Are they giving you what you
Mhm.
want? I'm like, well, I actually haven't gotten a response from them. And he's like, well, you talked to them this morning. I said, I know.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, if he's not going to communicate, then we should just move on. I'm like, okay, like we can, but
Mhm.
yeah, that can affect like how. And look, we all have busy lives, and kind of a side segment of like, how do you handle your business as a real estate agent, right? Are you organized? Do you have like segments of blocks where I'm going to focus on prospecting, or I'm going to focus on my clients, or I'm going to focus on the listings that I have? But again, texting's so easy. I mean, I've got 3 auto
Yeah.
texts. Hey, I'll call you right back. And then you
Yeah.
just add it to your day of I got to call this person back, or spend
Mhm.
30 minutes calling people back.
Mhm.
And the consumer should be able to sense that pretty quickly when they're interviewing their agents or talking with folks. I mean, I try to get to know them without information overload, but I do try and tell them to get to know me a little bit because it's a people business.
Mhm. On the
And-
flip side of, not working with the best agents, working with great agents, every time I do, I always, after the deal is closed, we're done, I message them and tell them how much I appreciate working with them
Yeah.
because it's so great, how this went so smooth. And I even go as far as saying, is there some way I can leave you a review from another realtor? So then that way you have that to add to kind of your portfolio to show that you're great to work with. Because I wish we had somewhere to where realtors could leave
Good reviews on realtors.
on other
Oh,
realtors.
that's getting trademarked. That's for you. That's for her to create all by yourself.
Yes,
I'm crediting
I
that
think-
because you should. And
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like a restaurant. Like I didn't, like that restaurant didn't like that experience. I'm never going back there or what have you.
Mhm.
But yeah, you got to know who you're dealing with,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so like same thing with lawyers, doctors, dentists, schools. There's school ratings out there for like where you want your kids to go to school at, and so just know that like the label that you're gonna have when you go to buy a home, there's gonna be some emotion behind it, but the right agent I think can help control those emotions and control that stress where it's not going to become chaotic for you. It's going to become smooth and efficient.
Yeah, and I think you use such the right word of control, because that's one of the biggest things is not only being able to control what's going on in the deal, but to be able to control another agent that's getting out of line, or not really control your clients, but to help them get back on track if they're getting crazy and kind of not having a lot of faith or anything like that. It's really important, like you said, to control the whole thing, the whole vibe.
And it's not like we're not trying to control their emotions. I mean, I think what I want to do is make sure that the emotion isn't the one making the decision. I've had conversations with clients where we just end the call and say, look, we're just going to agree to disagree. But eventually, it as it would be, they lean my way. No,
Well, that's such a professional way to handle it, though.
Yeah, it
Instead of blowing up on someone, it's just better to control your temper and
I don't have a temper.
No, not at all.
No,
Yeah.
only when they hang up.
Yeah, that. But yeah, I think it's really important to control our emotions as well too, because there's a lot of mean people and a lot of things that can kind of bring us down as agents. So it's so helpful and important to focus on a lot of the good too that we do, and a lot of the goals that we've accomplished and things. I find that helps me control my emotions.
It does. I mean, because you keep proving yourself right every single time something comes up. And I think the key word here is stress. If you have stress in your deal, then you're probably not with the right person. You're probably not with the right partner in real estate. And just know it's going to be stressful. It's just a matter of what level of stress is that agent going to absorb for you. And I think that's my take on it, is I want to make sure that it's as stress-free as possible. And we get you the best deal we possibly can. Whatever your goals are, selling or buying.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's so nice when your clients just hug you and they get so excited about this, journey that was maybe a little bit stressful, maybe not stressful. But once you get to the closing table and they're smiling and happy.
That's that happy stress. That's that happy emotion, right?
Yeah.
It's all done and over with.
I think the most stressful part from what I've experienced is probably just the option period. After that, it's not as stressful, but it's, when you have that X amount of days to decide, are we going to move forward? Because you have that inspection you have to do quickly, then you have to negotiate the repairs, and, you only have that time to do it to be able to back out and get your earnest money back. I think that's probably, from what I've experienced, the most stressful part of it.
It is. Yeah, no, it can be. Especially if you do it, like I've learned 2 times in a row. I've gotten a couple executed contracts on a Monday. My option period is 7 days. So day 7 is Monday. And I'm so we're basically missing Saturday and Sunday. We were trying to get, so inspector came out I think Wednesday. We got the report back Thursday. We're trying to get an HVAC guy out there on Friday. It's that's where you got to kind of make sure you have the right agent that is forward thinking to avoid that stress. So anytime I have a deal on Monday, I'm no, let's change that to 10 days. And you can negotiate that contract can be negotiated 100 different ways.
Oh yeah,
and
there's so many things.
That saves you so much stress. But I mean, I think overall what we can agree upon is there's emotions in real estate, just like anything else, but it can also be a good way and good emotions. If you got a good agent like Shelby, she'll absorb everything for you and cry in her car.
And you too. Don't forget you.
Oh,
okay?
I do cry in my car. That's right. I sure do.
No,
that's why I have tinted windows. They don't see me at the red light.
I see those shows. I watch them, like Selling Sunset. And you see they're going out to brunch. They're doing all these, activities and going out to eat and everything. And I watched it and I was like, how do y'all have time to go to these brunches all the time? Because sometimes I'm eating in my car.
Oh, I know, for sure. There's a show called Owning Manhattan.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love Ryan Serhant.
Ryan Serhant. I've been watching him since Owning. We finished a minute ago.
Okay.
Yeah. start Hannah on this. I